So here we go. We got our new bike out here. And shall we take her for a spin? We'll turn on the power here. I just charged up the battery last night. Get the kickstand up. Turn the key on. Oh, look at that. Let's see how fast she can go. We'll take her out on the road. Okay. Let's take a look here. Oh. Okay, let's take a look here. Here's our bike. Look at that. Take a look at the whole bike. Very cool, huh? Today I'm going to show you how to do a conversion on this bike to make this a Roadmaster, turn it into an electric speed demon. Very cool, huh? Yeah, with the powers that be wanting to get rid of gasoline and crashing our economy, trying to get rid of gasoline vehicles and everything else. I think in the future people are going to, even now, I mean, it's a nice cheap way to transportate yourself. You can pedal, you can get an assist if you need to go up the hill, because going up hills is always a pain. There's a regen on the brakes, I believe. It slows the front wheel down. I believe it recharges the battery, so you can recover some of the energy. Very cool, huh? Well, it seems to pedal pretty much like a normal bike here. Okay. Check it out. I was worried that maybe there'd be a lot of resistance on that front tire because of the motor down there. Let's see if I can see it from this side. But it seems to be doing pretty good. We'll try out the speed and see how it works. Okay, so let me get my phone out and I'll put the GPS on and we'll see how fast we can get going on this baby. 1,000 watts of motor power in the front wheel, 48 volt battery, which is actually higher than 48 volts now because I charged it. It's a little bit higher. Okay, let's see how fast this thing goes. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look here. Make sure there's nobody coming. And we will get going. Yeah, it's gonna fall off. Okay. I still have the old brakes on there. Whew. I think it's going pretty fast. Okay, so it looks like I finally got here, and let's take a look at this. This is how big this box is. I'm sitting here on the floor by it, and it's a pretty good sized box. Let's take a look inside and see what's in there. Should be interesting. Okay, so here's our box, and let me just lay the thing down here and take a look here. Looks like, okay, so try opening this up, and remember, never stick your fingers in between. In fact, it says don't use a box cutter, so I'm going to be careful not to cut deep. Okay, let's see what's inside of this thing. Should be interesting. Okay. damaged a little bit there. Hopefully what's inside is still okay. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. Take a step back and look at the box. Okay, so there's our box. And let's open her up. Oh my gosh. There it is. There is our electric bike wheel. Okay, it's got some styrofoam parts here. Okay. Oh. Let's pull this wheel out. What's this? We got some directions. Here's the directions, and looks like some zip ties and cable holders and stuff. Okay. And what's this? Some kind of, I don't know, pouch or something to hold something, maybe? Oh gosh. And here's the tire. Look at that. It's got wires coming out of it. This is where it hooks onto your hub, it looks like. It looks like the tire is deflated. Okay. Oh gosh. Move this up here. Okay, so there's our tire. And looks like there's some styrofoam in the bottom. And a little box. Let's see what's inside this box. Okay. I'm using my cowboy cam here. If you haven't seen that video, I'll show how I do this. Okay. Okay, look at this. Got all sorts of crazy parts in here. I'm not sure what that is. It feels like it's very tough plastic, actually, with some magnets on it. Wow. This is maybe a motor controller or the battery or something. There's some things that go on your handlebars. Let's take a look here. Okay, so what's in this bag? Some wires and a controller for the throttle. Now, what does this say? This is a lithium battery. DC motor control by lithium battery. Okay. There's some brakes. Oh, there's two brakes. So there's some kind of controls that go on the brakes. I don't think I see the lithium battery, so maybe you gotta get your own lithium battery? I don't know. What's this stuff? Maybe the lithium battery goes inside. This thing, but this thing seems like it's empty. Let's take a look what this thing is. Some kind of pouch. Okay. Oh, I guess you open it from the side. What does that say? See any bikes? Okay. Okay, so we got some kind of motor controller, some throttle and brakes, and stuff in here. And what's this thing? I bet you that's some kind of sensor that senses how fast the wheel's spinning. And that other thing's got little magnets on it. If I can find it. Where did that thing go? Anyway. That probably tells you how fast the wheel's spinning. So some kind of feedback mechanism. Oh, there we go. There's a little thing that probably goes on the wheel. It's got some feedback. Okay. And what do we got here? Okay, do-it-yourself guide. And again, we have some kind of cable holders and zip ties. Okay. And here is the manual. Okay, very cool. So I guess these are the parts. And it has some kind of installation of the gears. Okay. But we shouldn't have to put the gears on this one, because this one should be the front tire, I would think. Okay, that's a back wheel drive one. So it looks like they have the same manual for back wheel or front wheel. Okay. Oh, there's the throttle. I'm going to have to read through this manual to see. I'm not sure if the battery's included or not. Looks like they got lots of nice pictures here, though. Okay. Okay. And here is another manual. Looks like it shows how to do the wiring. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so let's take a look here. It looks like it says details. Each style says motor kit do not include battery, so you need to get your own battery to run this, it looks like. And you can either get one that goes under the seat like a rack or a water bottle type. Okay, so I'll have to look into that. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look here. It says this is the DC motor controller. It's got a bunch of stuff hooked to it. And it says it wants 48 volts. Okay, 26 amps. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so we'll have to look for a 48 volt battery, it looks like, to for this controller. Okay. Okay, so let's see how much this tire weighs. We have our tire here and our scales. Let's put the tire onto the scales. Oh gosh. And let's take a look down there. Tire on the scales. Okay. And what is that? It's about, let's see, maybe 18 pounds? Does that sound about right? Seems pretty heavy. Anyway, so there we go. Okay. 18 pounds. Okay, so here is our bike tire. And there's our bike. I'm going to put it on. And let's take a look here. I'm just going to, it comes in a bag that's all tied up. We just get it out of this bag. And we'll try to test fit it onto the frame and make sure it's going to fit. Because never assume anything, right? Oh, that looks like it's tied up. Let me get this untied. Okay, so There we go. There's our plastic bag. And look at that, it's beautiful, huh? And I remember someone in the comments complaining that they put the tire on and they flipped over the front wheel. And the only way that could happen is if this thing is on backwards and it spins the wheel backwards. And I could see, I'm not sure which way is forward and which way is backwards, so I'm going to have to investigate this a little bit. I don't see any markings on this side. There's some kind of serial number or something there. Again, this is a brushless motor, I believe. It has a brushless motor driver. And I'm not seeing any markings anywhere to indicate which way this wheel is supposed to spin. Okay. Okay, I'm going to look at this a little bit more. And we're going to try to fit it on this frame. Now this is a Roadmaster. And I was going to put it on my truck bike, but I figured that's a nice light bike. And this is a heavy wheel, so why ruin the lightness of that bike? I'll just use that as a regular pedal bike. And I'll put this on the little bit heavier bike, because this thing's going to be heavy anyway. Okay, so let's try it and see how it fits on there. Okay, a little bit more examination, closer examination. Okay, so here's our tire. And if we go up here, you can see it has an arrow that tells you which direction the wheel rotates. And so since it rotates that way, we want the wheel to roll this way. So I'm going to put the wheel on like so, with the wires on the, I guess that would be the right hand side when the bike is set up properly. And so, see, it says rotation there. So we want the wheels to rotate that way, because that's the way that they will roll when the bike is going forward. Okay. Okay, so let me put this on, and we'll see how that looks. See, make sure it fits. Should be interesting. Okay. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh. So here is our tire, and here's our bike, and looks like there's some things that screw out here. Let's take a closer look at these for a second. Well, okay, I guess the other one doesn't screw very well because it's got wires attached to it. But let's make sure this fits on here okay. Okay. And it looks like, oh, might have to spread the brakes out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It's going to fit on the forks, okay? Okay. And actually, this part up here may be too small for it to fit in. Oh wait, there's a flat. There's a flat on this. Okay, let me take a look at that. Okay, again, so here we go. So it looks like it fits within the forks. But at first glance, it looks like this rod here in the middle, for lack of a better word, is too thick. But it's actually not too thick because it's got a flat on that side. See? And so maybe if I rotate it so the flat is in there, that will provide torque against this fork. And remember, okay, rotation direction is that way. And of course we want the wheel to spin this way if we're driving down the road. You don't want it to be backwards, or else you will flip over the handlebar. Let's see, make sure. Okay, so again, rotation is pointing back. The tire would go like that. So if you're going along the road would go like that along with the tire. So just making sure everything looks right. Let me try to rotate this shaft. I guess that's what I should call it, is a shaft. Oh, come on. So that, so that flat will go. You know what? Let me do this. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this. So I took off some of these parts, the nut, and there's a little thing that holds it in place. Okay, so I rotated this so that the flats should go down into the shaft, but it looks like it is too thick by a little bit. So what I may do is end up modifying this so it can accept other tires rather than modifying this flat. This probably going to be hard to grind that down. It'd be easier to grind this notch out a little bit. Okay. And again, these parts were on it before. This would hold it in place. It's got kind of a square washer, which probably to latch into that thing. And then a nut to screw it down. So that's how it'll look kind of when it's finalized, but looks like it's too thick to fit into our bike fork right now. Okay, so see, I pulled the tire off, and I just wanted to test fit it against this fork right here, and it is definitely too wide to fit down there. It will not fit down. It's close, but it's too wide. And so I think maybe I will, I don't know, I could either grind it, which is a little bit more risky, or maybe I'll file it and make these forks a little bit wider so that the bike will accept this tire. Okay. I think that's the next step here. Okay, so here we have our calipers, and let's just measure how thick this flat is here on the wheel. Okay. That looks like about 10, maybe 9, but 10 millimeters. Okay. Well, there's a little bit less than that, but depends on how you want to put it to the minimum, right? Okay, well, let me see. Okay, there. 9.9 millimeters. Okay, so let's check to see how big our gap is on our fork of our bike. Okay. Okay, so let's measure how wide this fork is here with our calipers. And it's about 8 millimeters. So it's about 2 millimeters too small to fit that tire. Okay. So we'll have to maybe grind that out a little bit because I feel like modifying these and not the tire. Okay, so I was trying to decide, should I modify the wheel or modify the forks? I think I'm going to modify the forks for 2 reasons. I mean, you could cut down the wheel a little bit and it would kind of destroy the integrity of that screw, where making the forks thinner is going to make them weaker also. So either way, it's going to make the bike overall a little bit weaker, but I was thinking the wheel, you know, I don't know what the status of it is. I haven't been able to test it. And I don't know if it's too late to send it back or not, but if I definitely grind the bolt away, then I won't be able to send it back. If I ever want to replace this with a different wheel, then it's probably best to modify the actual bike here. So let's take a look here. Here's our bike. And here's our grinder. Let's see. Oh. Okay, there we go. So we got the grind out the forks a little bit to make them from 8 to 10 millimeters. So let's take a look here. Okay, so we got our bike here. Now let's just take a look here. any good. Might take a long time to grind it away with this grinder. I'll get my calipers down here and measure that, see if we've made any progress. Okay. Okay, so here's our calipers, and let's just take a measure here. Okay, so looks like it's 8.8, 8.9, kind of at the top. I think it's not as wide at the bottom. And we'll compare it to the unground one, which is, here, let's get it in there. Okay, less than 8. I think we did make some progress, but we're going to have quite a ways to go still. Okay, we're almost up to 9 here. Okay. So I'm going to work on that a little bit and see if we can get the front wheel into the sky. Okay. A little bit more. Okay, let's take another measurement. Okay, I've been working on this for a little while. And it looks like we are over 10 now. Okay. And, okay, even down toward the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start working on, see, that's actually noticeably wider than the other one. So I'm going to start working on the other spoke, and then we'll see if we can fit the tire in there. And then we can get this project going. Should be interesting. Very cool, huh? Okay, we've been working on the forks for a little bit on the other side, and here's our calipers. Okay, and let's take a look here. Looks like we're a little bit above 10 at the top on this one too. I don't know, I might have to grind it down a little bit, but let's get the tire down here and we'll take a look and see how the tire fits on now. Okay. Should be interesting. Okay. Okay, so here we got our tire. Now remember, you want to make sure you get the direction of rotation correct. Remember, someone in the comments was saying, well, I put the tire on and it shot me over the front handlebars. The only way it could do that is if the tire was spinning backwards, right? Okay, so let's just try test fitting this on here now. Oh, I might need to undo the brakes. It's not going to fit past the brakes. Let me undo the brakes and then we'll see if we can get that tire on there. Okay. Okay, I got my crescent wrench here, and that's nice because it fits about any size. We'll just loosen this guy up. It's alright, righty tighty, lefty loosey. This is anti-clockwise. Now come on. There we go. Oh, come on. Okay, so we'll loosen these brakes up a little bit. There we go, that ought to be enough. Look at that. Okay, and let's see if we can get this tire on there for a test fit. Okay, I got all these. That one is already screwed out. You can't really screw it either way until you clip that zip tie on there. And this one's screwed out. See, there's little latches here that go into probably those holes there. Probably got to put that washer on the other side, like so. And I'm going to guess this washer here is going to go. Oh, come on, get in there. Okay, I know, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I'll get the washer on one side, and that washer with a little finger on it on the other side. And remember, tire rotation, that's going to go back because your tire is going, the bottom of your tire is going back as you're going forward on the bike, right? Visualize in your mind which way that tire is going to spin, because you don't want to stick that on backwards. And let's do this. Oh gosh. Okay. There we go. Okay. And it looks like it is fitting into our, oh, this one's, I'm going to have to fiddle with this. It's coming down on the other side of the washer. I may have it wider at the top than the bottom, so I may need to grind that out a little bit more, because it's only going part way in, but it could be it's getting hung up on this washer. Let me fiddle with this, and we'll see if we can get this on all the way. Okay. Okay, so it looks like, there. Looks like this one's fitting in pretty much all the way, almost far enough to get that down into that slot. Well, that slot's going to be too small, so I don't know. Looks like this other one here is also fitting in, but not quite as far, so I may need to grind this side down a little bit more before I try to fit these in. Okay. Again, that's supposed to go in that hole, but it looks like, oh, I must have cut myself. That bike tire. So it's not going in as far as what I like, so I'm going to have to grind this side down a little bit more. Okay. And I think we might be close to getting this tire on. Very cool, huh? Okay, let's take a look here. So I got the tire seated on there, and it looks like that is quite a ways down into the fork. Okay. And this other one here on this side as well. I guess it's not all the way at the bottom, but you know what? I think that might be close enough. And I found out, yeah, this is just like a grommet you can take off, so you can screw that thing in. It's not quite in there all the way. I don't know, I might fiddle with it a little bit more to make sure it goes down all the way, but this finger thing's too wide to go in that hole, I think. This is probably actually made for a bigger bike fork. And we might be able to make do with this. Just tighten that up maybe. Okay. Now again, this one on the other side. Oh, let's see, I don't know, maybe you can pull this off. Oh, see, it's zip tied on there, right there. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut this zip tie. Find some snips or something and cut that. Okay. Okay, looks like I found myself a pair of dikes. I could tell you some stories that my buddy told me about when he was in the Navy, but probably better not. I'll just get myself in trouble. Anyway, so be careful not to cut that wire, that's for sure. Okay, so there's our zip tie is gone, and this rubber thing, oh look at that, it goes right through the screw. Okay, it looks like you can take that rubber thing off and screw this screw down. Okay. This not going to go into that hole though. I don't know if I should modify these tabs or not. Hate to modify this bike anymore because it's kind of thin there. I might just test it out as is, like so. Yeah, it's not going to be as strong as it should be, in fact, because it's cantilevered. Yeah, this little finger's making it cantilevered. That may be a problem. But just for getting this project going, I can always go back and grind away some more, I guess. I could always drill out that hole some maybe, or something, but I want to get this tire on and let's see, get things going here. Okay, so let's this will be good enough to test it out, I do believe. At least the tire is on, and it's on good enough that it can probably actually function. Okay, there we go. Very cool, huh? Yeah, that tab is a problem now. Okay, I get this thing tightened up, and we can start fiddling with the electronics maybe. Got this together. Very cool. Okay. Okay. I might see this. The rest of this electronics is zip tied to the tire here, so I might get this loose. Do not cut the wires. Okay, there we go. So I think we are all free here. I'm not sure why. Oh, I guess that is supposed to. This wire is supposed to come out that side like that. It's got a preferred side. Looks like. Okay, so anyway, well, let's take a look back. Very cool. Okay, we're making progress. Okay, I'll have to see what we do next to test out the electronics.